Imagine a world where integrity is your compass and your words are unbreakable promises. Sounds powerful, right? Ever wondered what it takes to live such a life? Today, we'll dive into a blueprint that's been around for centuries, guiding countless souls to a life of purpose and peace. What if I told you that the secrets are hidden in a timeless piece of wisdom, just waiting to be uncovered? Hold tight, because we're about to unlock the treasures of Psalm 15. Are you ready to transform your spiritual journey? Let's get started. Psalm 15, penned by David, emerges from a time steeped in the rich history of Israel. David, the shepherd-turned-king, was known not just for his military conquests but also for his profound spiritual insights. His psalms often reflect a deep yearning for a relationship with God, and Psalm 15 is no exception. Written during a period when the Ark of the Covenant was central to worship, it underscores the holiness required to dwell in God's presence. David's authorship adds a layer of authenticity, given his own tumultuous journey from tending sheep to leading a nation, and his personal quest for righteousness amidst his flaws. David's life provides a contextual tapestry that enriches our understanding of Psalm 15. His experiences, from his anointing by Samuel to his reign over Israel, were marked by moments of intense introspection and spiritual growth. The psalm was likely composed during a time when David was deeply contemplating what it meant to live a life pleasing to God. This introspection is evident as he queries who may dwell in God's sacred tent, a question born from his own desire for divine favor and presence. Moreover, the historical backdrop of Israel during David's reign is significant. It was a time when the nation was consolidating its identity, and the ark represented God's tangible presence among his people. The psalm not only reflects David's personal aspirations but also serves as a guide for the entire community of Israel. By emphasizing qualities like integrity and justice, David was setting a standard for his people, urging them to align their lives with God's holy expectations. Before we dive into today's content, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you enjoy our videos and want to see more exciting content, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. It's the best way to support us and stay updated on all the new meditations and videos we share. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for being part of our community, and now, enjoy the video. The central theme of Psalm 15 revolves around the ethical and moral qualities required to be in communion with God. This psalm isn't just a list of do's and don'ts, it's a profound exploration of the character traits that reflect a life aligned with divine principles. David is essentially asking what kind of person can live in close fellowship with God, a question that transcends time and remains pertinent for believers today. David's emphasis on moral integrity sets the tone for the entire psalm. He isn't concerned with superficial acts of piety but with the heart's condition. The qualities listed, integrity, justice, truthfulness, are not about adhering to a set of external rules but about embodying a spirit of righteousness. This distinction is crucial because it shifts the focus from mere religious observance to genuine, heartfelt devotion. The psalm's theme challenges readers to reflect on their own lives. It calls for self-examination and a commitment to personal transformation. In a world where outward appearances often take precedence, Psalm 15 serves as a reminder that God looks at the heart. It's an invitation to cultivate a life that not only seeks to follow God's commandments but does so out of a deep-seated desire to be in His presence. Psalm 15 opens with a profound question, Lord, who may dwell in your sacred tent? Who may live on your holy mountain? This isn't a query about physical residence but about spiritual eligibility. David is asking what kind of person is worthy to be in close proximity to the divine, to experience God's immediate presence. This question sets the stage for the rest of the psalm, inviting readers to ponder their own spiritual fitness. The sacred tent and holy mountain symbolize places of divine encounter and worship. In David's time, the tent referred to the tabernacle, the portable dwelling place of God, while the holy mountain referred to Mount Zion, where the temple would eventually stand. These places represented the ultimate closeness to God, and thus, David's question probes the spiritual requirements for such an honor. It's a reflection of his deep reverence for God's holiness and his understanding that not everyone is fit to be in such sacred spaces. This question is timeless and universal. It's not just about ancient Israel but about anyone seeking a relationship with God. By posing this question, David invites all believers to consider their own spiritual journey. Are they living lives that reflect the holiness of God? Are they striving to embody the qualities that make one worthy of divine fellowship? It's a question that challenges and inspires, urging believers to aspire to a higher standard of spiritual integrity. One of the first qualities David highlights is integrity. The one whose walk is blameless, who does what is righteous, he writes. Integrity here means completeness, soundness, and moral wholeness. It's about being the same person in private as in public, maintaining a consistent character that aligns with God's standards. For David, this kind of integrity is non-negotiable for anyone who wishes to dwell in God's presence. Closely linked to integrity is the practice of justice. David emphasizes doing what is righteous, which involves fair treatment of others and upholding what is right according to divine law. Justice, in this context, isn't just about legal correctness but about embodying God's own nature. God is just, and those who wish to be close to him must reflect that justice in their own lives. This means advocating for fairness, defending the oppressed, and living in a way that promotes equity and righteousness. Together, integrity and justice form the foundation of a life pleasing to God. They are the bedrock upon which other virtues are built. Without integrity, actions can become hypocritical, and without justice, relationships can become exploitative. David's call for these qualities underscores their importance in creating a community that mirrors God's kingdom. It's a call to live authentically and to treat others with the fairness and dignity that God himself extends to all. David then turns to the importance of truth and honesty. Who speaks the truth from their heart, who has no slander on their tongue, he writes. Truthfulness is about more than just avoiding lies, it's about a deep-seated commitment to honesty in all areas of life. For David, speaking the truth from the heart means being genuine and sincere, not just outwardly but in one's innermost being. Avoiding slander is another critical aspect. Slander involves speaking ill of others, spreading falsehoods, or damaging someone's reputation. David understands the destructive power of words and the harm that lies and gossip can cause within a community. By calling for a tongue free of slander, he's advocating for a culture of respect and integrity in communication. This is essential for anyone who wishes to be in God's presence, as God himself is a God of truth. The emphasis on truth and honesty has far-reaching implications. It challenges believers to examine not just their words but their thoughts and attitudes. Are they living lives marked by sincerity and transparency? Are they building others up rather than tearing them down with their words? David's focus on these virtues underscores their importance in maintaining a community that honors God and reflects his character. It's a call to cultivate a spirit of truthfulness that permeates every aspect of life. David doesn't stop at personal virtues, he extends the discussion to how one interacts with others. He emphasizes treating people with respect and not causing harm to one's neighbor. Who does no wrong to a neighbor, and casts no slur on others, he writes. This isn't just about avoiding overt acts of harm but also about fostering positive, respectful relationships. For David, being in communion with God means extending that sense of holiness to how we treat those around us. Imagine living in a community where everyone genuinely cares for one another, where respect and kindness are the norms, not the exceptions. That's essentially what David is advocating for. He's calling for a community that mirrors the love and respect God has for each individual. This isn't just an ancient ideal, it's incredibly relevant today. In our fast-paced, often impersonal world, taking the time to truly respect and care for our neighbors can be transformative. David's vision is a challenge to avoid gossip, slander, and any form of harm. It's a call to build up, rather than tear down, to encourage rather than criticize. This kind of community fosters trust and mutual respect, creating an environment where people can thrive. It's a reminder that our faith isn't just about personal piety but about how we engage with the world around us. David makes it clear that those who wish to dwell in God's presence must reject what is vile and honor those who fear the Lord. Who despises a vile person but honors those who fear the Lord, he writes. This isn't about hating people but about rejecting behaviors and attitudes that are contrary to God's nature. It's about having a discerning spirit that can distinguish between what is righteous and what is not. Honoring those who fear the Lord means recognizing and valuing those who live according to God's principles. It's about lifting up examples of faithfulness and integrity, celebrating those who strive to live in alignment with God's will. In a culture that often glorifies the wrong kinds of heroes, David's call is a reminder to value what truly matters. It's an invitation to surround oneself with influences that uplift and inspire towards godliness. This principle has practical applications. Who do we admire and look up to? Are our role models people of integrity and faith? By choosing to honor the faithful, we set a standard for ourselves and our communities. It's a way of saying that we value and aspire to the kind of life that is pleasing to God. David's emphasis here is a call to be intentional about the influences we allow in our lives and to actively seek out relationships that encourage us in our spiritual journey. Another crucial aspect David highlights is the importance of keeping one's promises. Who keeps an oath even when it hurts, and does not change their mind, he writes. This speaks to the value of reliability and steadfastness. In a world where promises can often be broken without much thought, David's words are a powerful reminder of the importance of being true to one's word. Keeping an oath, even when it hurts, means that faithfulness isn't always easy or convenient. It often requires sacrifice and perseverance. But for David, this kind of faithfulness is a reflection of God's own nature. God is faithful and keeps his promises, and those who wish to be close to him must strive to do the same. This is about building trust and reliability, being someone others can count on no matter the circumstances. This principle challenges us to examine our own lives. Are we people who keep our promises, even when it's difficult? Do we follow through on our commitments? David's call to faithfulness isn't just about big, public promises but about the everyday commitments we make. It's about cultivating a spirit of reliability that reflects God's own faithfulness. This kind of consistency builds strong relationships and fosters a community of trust and dependability. David also addresses the ethical use of financial resources. Who lends money to the poor without interest, who does not accept a bribe against the innocent, he writes. This is about promoting economic justice and integrity. Lending money without interest to those in need reflects a spirit of generosity and compassion. It's about helping others without seeking personal gain. David's prohibition against accepting bribes speaks to the importance of fairness and justice. Bribery undermines trust and perpetuates inequality. By refusing to accept bribes, one upholds the principle of justice and ensures that decisions are made based on what is right, not on financial incentives. This is crucial for maintaining a just and equitable society. These principles are incredibly relevant today. In a world where economic disparities are rampant, David's call for financial integrity and justice is a reminder of our responsibility to use our resources ethically. It's about recognizing that our financial decisions can have a significant impact on others and striving to use our resources in ways that promote fairness and justice. This kind of financial integrity reflects God's own concern for the poor and oppressed and is a crucial aspect of living a life pleasing to Him. David concludes the psalm with a promise of stability and security for those who live according to these principles. "Whoever does these things will never be shaken," he writes. This is a powerful affirmation of the strength and resilience that comes from living a life aligned with God's will. It's a reminder that true security isn't found in wealth or power but in a life of integrity and righteousness. This promise of stability is about more than just physical safety. It's about a deep, inner sense of peace and assurance that comes from knowing one is living in alignment with God's principles. It's the confidence that comes from a clear conscience and a life of integrity. This kind of stability is unshakable because it's rooted in the character of God Himself. David's final words are an encouragement to persevere in righteousness. They are a reminder that living a life pleasing to God has both immediate and eternal rewards. It's a call to trust in God's promises and to find security in His unchanging nature. This kind of stability is a powerful testimony to the world of the strength and resilience that comes from a life of faith. The principles outlined in Psalm 15 have profound implications for modern Christian life. They provide a blueprint for living a life that is pleasing to God and in harmony with His will. These principles challenge us to examine our own lives and to strive for integrity, justice, truthfulness, and faithfulness. In our daily lives, this might mean being more intentional about our words and actions, ensuring they align with God's principles. It could involve making a conscious effort to treat others with respect and kindness, even when it's challenging. It might also mean being more mindful of our financial decisions, striving to use our resources in ways that promote justice and fairness. Applying these principles requires a commitment to ongoing self-examination and growth. It's about striving to embody the character of God in all areas of our lives. This isn't always easy, but David's words are a powerful reminder of the importance and rewards of living a life of integrity and righteousness. For modern Christians, Psalm 15 is a call to live out our faith in practical, tangible ways. It's a reminder that our relationship with God isn't just about personal piety but about how we interact with the world around us. It's an invitation to live lives that reflect God's holiness and to strive for a community that mirrors His kingdom. Theologically, Psalm 15 offers a profound exploration of the nature of God and what it means to live in relationship with Him. It reflects the holiness of God and the ethical and moral standards that flow from His character. David's emphasis on integrity, justice, truthfulness, and faithfulness highlights the qualities that are essential for anyone who wishes to dwell in God's presence. This psalm is a powerful reminder of the high standards God sets for those who wish to be close to Him. It challenges believers to strive for holiness and to live lives that reflect God's character. This isn't about earning God's favor but about responding to His grace with a life of integrity and righteousness. Psalm 15 also highlights the communal aspect of faith. It's not just about individual piety but about creating a community that reflects God's kingdom. This involves treating others with respect and fairness, promoting justice, and fostering a culture of truth and integrity. It's a call to build a community that honors God and reflects His character. In conclusion, Psalm 15 offers a rich and profound exploration of what it means to live a life pleasing to God. David's words challenge us to examine our own lives and to strive for the qualities that reflect God's character. It's a call to live with integrity, justice, truthfulness, and faithfulness, and to build a community that mirrors God's kingdom. These principles are just as relevant today as they were in David's time, offering a timeless guide for anyone who wishes to dwell in God's presence. And as we reflect on the powerful words of Psalm 15, let's carry this message into our daily lives. Think about it. What would change if we truly lived with integrity, spoke the truth from our hearts, and treated others with the respect they deserve? Imagine a world where each of us embodies these principles. Is there someone in your life who could use a bit more kindness from you today? Maybe a friend, a family member, or even a stranger. What steps can you take, starting right now, to walk more closely with God, to live a life that honors Him in every action, every thought, every word? Picture yourself standing in God's holy place, confident and unshaken because you've chosen this path of righteousness. How does that feel? Empowering, right? Before we go, take a moment to reflect. How can you incorporate the teachings of Psalm 15 into your daily routine? Perhaps it's through a specific act of kindness, a moment of truth-telling, or simply pausing to pray for guidance. Let's not just be hearers of the word, but doers. Let's take this divine refuge and make it our foundation. Because when we live by these principles, we're not just transforming our own lives, we're lighting the way for others to follow. So, what will be your first step today? How will you let Psalm 15 guide your actions, your words, your heart? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to walk this path together. Remember, you're never alone on this journey. Until next time, keep seeking, keep praying, and keep shining your light.